Ancient Mesopotamia, people talked about the seven sages. In ancient India, Manu and the seven sages appeared after a great flood, trying to bring back lost knowledge. A good example is the Indus Valley civilization. Nobody knew about it until it was discovered by accident during railway construction. They found large and complex mud brick buildings. They also discovered a written script that we still can't read today. The story of the Indus Valley civilization, one of the first urban societies, is like a mystery novel with dramatic weather changes, geological shifts, and mysterious invaders. The gradual decline from a thriving civilization around 1900 BCE to ruins by 1300 BCE continues to puzzle historians and enthusiasts. Now, let's look at some interesting theories about why this civilization disappeared. Imagine living in a city where the once reliable monsoon rains suddenly became unpredictable around 2200 BCE. This was more than just a hassle, it was disastrous. The people of the Indus Valley, who depended on these rains for farming, faced lower crop yields and possible famine. Picture rivers, which were crucial for trade and farming, changing their courses due to tectonic shifts. Cities that were once busy trade centers could no longer support their populations. This wasn't just about less water for crops. Key trade routes, especially those to Mesopotamia, were disrupted, worsening the economic problems. Another issue was earthquakes. These weren't small tremors but possibly large quakes that could have changed river paths, ruined drainage systems, and made cities uninhabitable. The very foundations of urban life were shaken. At one point, the idea of an invasion by nomadic tribes seemed likely, suggesting a dramatic end to the Indus Valley civilization. Ancient texts like the Rig Veda talked about conflicts between these nomads and the Indus Valley people. However, there isn't strong evidence for such invasions, so it seems the civilization's decline was more gradual. Internal problems also played a role. Maintaining large cities with shrinking resources could have led to social unrest, making the cities unsustainable. As trade with far-off regions decreased, possibly due to new competitors or changes in trade routes, the economy of the civilization weakened. When the British were building the Indian railway system in the 19th century, they accidentally discovered something amazing: ruins made from well-crafted bricks in the Punjab region. These bricks were actually from the Indus Valley civilization, a society that had disappeared thousands of years earlier. At first, the ancient bricks were used in railway construction. It's a bit ironic that an old civilization contributed to modern transport while its own story was forgotten. Then came Alexander Cunningham in the 1870s, who was like a historical detective. As the founder of the Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, Cunningham was one of the first to take a serious interest in these ruins. However, even with his reports, the full importance of the findings wasn't understood. The clues were there, but the full picture wasn't clear yet. The story developed further with Sir John Marshall, who led the ASI in the early 20th century. Under Marshall's leadership, the ASI focused on ancient history, leading to a discovery that would change our understanding of early urban civilization. Dr. Rai Bahadur Dayaram Sahni started excavating at Harappa in 1921, and shortly after, Rakhal Das Banerjee uncovered the wonders of Mohenjo-daro. These sites revealed a civilization with remarkable complexity and sophistication, featuring well-planned cities, advanced drainage systems, and many artifacts showing a rich cultural life. Discoveries at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro opened a window to an ancient world, showcasing the impressive achievements of the Indus Valley civilization. This society had a unique script still unreadable today and urban planning that rivaled any modern city. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro, with its waterproof construction, suggested a focus on cleanliness and possible ritual practices. As more archaeologists like Ernest Mackay, Madho Sarup Vats, and Mortimer Wheeler joined the efforts, our knowledge of this ancient civilization grew. Each new excavation in the Indus Valley provided fresh insights. The story of the Indus Valley civilization challenged the previous belief that complex urban life started only with Mesopotamia and Egypt. Here was proof of a parallel society that thrived and then, for reasons still debated, faded away, leaving behind a buried legacy. Let's look back at Harappa, a city that once thrived in what is now Pakistan's Punjab province. This city was a key part of the Indus Valley civilization, lively from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. Harappa's discovery is as intriguing as the city itself. Initially noticed in the 19th century, it was during the 1850s when the British were building railway tracks that Harappa began to reveal its secrets. Ironically, bricks from Harappa were used in railway construction, unknowingly dismantling a piece of history. By the 1920s, Sir John Marshall and his team realized that Harappa was part of a much larger and advanced civilization, changing our view of ancient urban planning. Imagine walking through streets that form a perfect grid, with main roads up to 30 feet wide crossing each other at right angles. This city wasn't built haphazardly, it was carefully planned and well-engineered. Harappa had an advanced drainage system, with covered drains along the main streets and smaller ones connecting to individual homes. This focus on cleanliness and public health is something many modern cities could learn from. The buildings, all made from standardized baked bricks, gave the city a uniform appearance and showed the Harappans' knowledge of materials. But Harappa wasn't just about its streets and sanitation. The city had large granaries at its center, essential for storing and distributing food, indicating a well-organized system for keeping the population fed. Looking into daily life, Harappa had a range of homes from simple to elaborate, often with their own wells and bathrooms. This suggests a society where social differences existed but where individual comfort and cleanliness were also valued. Artifacts like seals with animal figures and an undeciphered script hint at a complex system of communication, trade, administration, or rituals. The pottery and tools found in Harappa, from practical items to beautifully decorated pieces, show the variety of crafts and occupations in the city. Harappa was more than just a city, it was a remarkable example of early urban civilization, offering insights into ancient life and challenging our views of ancient societies and their achievements. In Pakistan's Sindh province lies Mohenjo-daro, an archaeological site that highlights the architectural brilliance of the Indus Valley civilization. This city, one of the most well-known remnants of ancient urban life, reveals much about its people, their social structure, and their impressive urban planning. Mohenjo-daro was divided into two main areas, the lower city for residential and commercial activities, and the Acropolis for public and ceremonial buildings. This separation shows the careful planning that went into the city's design, making it efficient and organized. The Great Bath is a standout feature of Mohenjo-daro. Picture a large watertight pool, built for religious purification, surrounded by corridors and rooms. The Great Bath wasn't just an architectural wonder, it was a key part of the city's spiritual and communal life, showing the importance of water in their culture. The people of Mohenjo-daro Discovering ancient history is a bit like solving a mystery, where archaeologists, historians, and scientists play the role of detectives, sifting through the past. One of the most fascinating stories from these investigations is about Helika, an ancient Greek city that disappeared overnight in 373 BC after a massive earthquake and tsunami. Located in the Peloponnese, Helika was an important cultural and religious center dedicated to Poseidon, the god of the sea and earthquakes. For a long time, Helica was considered a legend, similar to the mythical Atlantis due to its sudden disappearance. Although Atlantis is considered a myth by archaeologists, the search for Helica continued. Early explorers in the 19th century tried to find the city, but their efforts often relied on guesses rather than scientific methods. They dug at various sites in northern Peloponnese but found no evidence of Helica. Many of these searches were misled by local myths and incorrect interpretations of old texts, leading them to places that looked appealing but were not geologically suitable. A more systematic search started in 1998 with the Helica project, led by Greek archaeologist Dwarka and American researcher Stephen Starr. This project was a breakthrough because it used a mix of archaeology, geology, physics, and other sciences. Carbon dating can only date organic materials like wood or bone, not stone. The team also worked with experts from around the world, including seismologists from the University of Patras. They used advanced tools like electrical resistivity and seismic reflection to find underground clues without digging up the surface. These methods helped pinpoint where Helica was eventually discovered, showing how combining old and new techniques can be very effective. The team used ground-penetrating radar to explore underground and carefully documented every artifact they found. They took photos, made drawings, and wrote detailed notes about each item and its location. This careful record-keeping was key to understanding the history of Helica and how it developed over time, showing how modern archaeology can reveal details about ancient civilizations. In 2001, the Helica project achieved a major breakthrough by finding solid proof of the city's existence. They uncovered large building foundations, suggesting they were part of homes or public buildings. These foundations matched historical descriptions of Helica's architecture. The excavation also revealed many pottery shards, from simple everyday items to elaborate pieces likely used in religious ceremonies. This variety of pottery provided a glimpse into the daily life and spiritual practices of Helica's people. Other finds included tools, coins, and decorative objects, which gave more insight into the city's economy and society. The style of these artifacts matched other known Greek sites from the same period, helping to date and understand Helica's historical context. The layout of the ruins showed that Helica was a well-planned city with areas for living, trading, and possibly religious activities. This organization provided clues about ancient Greek urban planning and social structure. The findings at Helica not only revealed much about the past but also encouraged further research in the region. The Helica project is now seen as an example of good archaeological practice, especially for its use of modern technology and careful documentation. The success of this project highlighted the value of combining different scientific fields, like archaeology and geology, to understand ancient history. The search for Helica has some interesting similarities with the search for the legendary city of Troy. Both cities were thought to be myths for a long time. Troy was made famous by Homer in the Iliad, and was believed to be purely fictional until Heinrich Schliemann discovered it in the 19th century. Schliemann used Homer's stories to find Troy, similar to how early searches for Helica used ancient texts. Today, though, finding both cities has relied on advanced archaeological techniques and scientific methods, rather than just old stories. Rediscovering both cities changed our view of ancient history, showing how modern archaeology connects myths with reality. One of the first signs that confirmed the site as the ancient city of Helica was the discovery of bronze coins from the 4th century BC. These coins, featuring Poseidon, helped provide cultural and spiritual context and allowed archaeologists to identify key areas of activity and understand the city's economy before it was destroyed. As the excavation continued, the team found various layers of artifacts, showing the city's long history and multiple periods of rebuilding. They uncovered classical Greek remains as well as Hellenistic and Roman items, revealing a mix of lifestyles and economic conditions over time. The different artifacts, from everyday pottery to luxury goods, illustrated the city's prosperity and artistic development, especially visible in the more intricate Hellenistic pieces. The evidence of the disaster that ended Helica was clearly preserved in the geological layers at the site. Seismic layers of sand and debris matched the historical accounts of the earthquake and tsunami that caused the city's destruction. Studies of the sediment showed sudden changes typical of tsunami damage, including marine fossils and salts from seawater. Additionally, well-preserved organic remains like wooden tools and food fragments were found, thanks to the rapid burial under mud, which slowed decay. This rare preservation gave a detailed look into daily life in Helica. Analysis of these materials revealed information about the local diet, agriculture, and household activities, showing what crops were grown and how people lived before the disaster. The sudden disappearance of Helica in 373 BC is a real-world example similar to the legendary story of Atlantis, described by Plato as sinking into the sea due to divine punishment. Both stories of sudden destruction provide insights into ancient civilizations and their myths. Helica was a real city-state in Greece, dedicated to Poseidon, and was destroyed overnight by an earthquake and tsunami. It was lost until rediscovered in 2001. Atlantis, on the other hand, exploring ancient urban planning and disaster management is fascinating, especially in places that haven't been thoroughly examined. One such place is the underwater city of Dwarka, located off the coast of Gujarat, India. During the Ice Age, an estimated 27 million square kilometers of land that was once above water is now submerged. Dwarka was strategically located near the confluence of the Gomti River and the Arabian Sea, which helped protect it from invaders and supported trade connections. The city was surrounded by water, making it a natural fortress that was hard to attack. Many ancient civilizations were built near water, and as sea levels changed, some cities were covered by the ocean. During our diving expeditions in southern India, we talked to local fishermen and divers who shared their experiences of unusual underwater finds. The Gomti River not only added to Dwarka's beauty but also provided an essential lifeline for its people. Ancient texts describe Dwarka as an architecturally impressive city with well-planned streets, an advanced drainage system, and strong fortifications. The city was designed with different areas for living, trade, and administration. It has been underwater for about 6,000 to 7,000 years, but we still wonder how long it was above water before that. Dwarka's urban planning and engineering highlight its advanced knowledge and sophistication, showcasing a city that combined both beauty and functionality. Its defensive structures, including gates and walls, were thoughtfully designed to protect against invasions, demonstrating the city's strategic planning. Finding underwater statues and columns has been exciting. In modern-day Dwarka, marine explorations have uncovered submerged structures like stone foundations, walls, and pillars, believed to be part of ancient Dwarka. These discoveries show that the city had advanced engineering and construction techniques. Using modern technology like sonar and underwater photography has helped map out the city's layout and understand its scale. The artifacts found, both underwater and on land, reveal a culturally rich and prosperous society that engaged in trade and cultural exchange. The variety of materials found indicates that Dwarka was an important hub of economic activity and cultural openness. Radiocarbon dating has provided clues about Dwarka's age, showing that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old. This evidence challenges outdated theories of an Aryan invasion. Some artifacts from Dwarka date back to the 2nd millennium BCE, aligning with the period described in ancient texts about Lord Krishna. These findings help link mythological stories with historical facts and provide insights into the development of ancient Indian cities. Dwarka's story, including its divine origins and sophisticated architecture, reflects a time of great wealth and cultural significance. According to Hindu mythology, Lord Krishna founded Dwarka strategically to protect his people and offer a prosperous living environment. The city's location on the western coast provided natural defenses and access to important sea routes for trade. Dwarka, often called the City of Gold in ancient scriptures, symbolized both material wealth and architectural brilliance. It featured palaces, public spaces, and defenses designed by Vishwakarma, the divine architect. The city's careful planning included distinct areas for living, commerce, temples, and public buildings, ensuring an efficient and beautiful urban environment for its residents. The most intriguing part of Dwarka's story is its mysterious submergence. This city, once a grand center of civilization, is believed to have sunk into the sea due to land subsidence rather than rising sea levels, as this event happened relatively recently. According to legend, after Lord Krishna left the world, Dwarka was engulfed by the ocean. This event is not just a significant moment in Hindu mythology, marking the end of an era and the beginning of Kali Yuga, but it has also captured the interest of archaeologists and historians. Their underwater explorations near modern Dwarka have uncovered submerged ruins, linking the legendary city with real historical evidence. These findings suggest that how the quest for understanding ancient civilizations often intersects with the realms of astronomy, architecture, and mythology. Indeed, the extraordinary alignments and construction techniques found in ancient structures around the world reveal a deep and shared fascination with the cosmos, hinting at a sophisticated level of knowledge and cultural significance. The pyramids of Giza, with their impeccable alignment and connections to celestial bodies like Orion's belt, serve as a testament to the ancient Egyptians' profound understanding of astronomy. The precision of the Great Pyramid's orientation, deviating by just 1/360th of a degree from true north, is an incredible achievement that showcases the Egyptians' advanced technical skills and their reverence for the stars. The belief that the pyramids were designed as stairways to the heavens reflects the central role of astronomy in their religious and cultural practices, linking the divine with the terrestrial. Similarly, Chichen Itza's Temple of Kukulkan, El Castillo, reveals the Maya civilization's intricate knowledge of celestial cycles. The pyramid's design, which mirrors the solar year with its 365 steps, and the equinoctial serpent descent highlight the Mayas' ability to integrate astronomical events into their architecture and daily life. The acoustic properties of the pyramid, which mimic the Quetzal bird's call, further emphasize how the Maya used sound and light to enhance their ceremonial practices. Machu Picchu, with its alignment to solstices and its Intihuatana stone, demonstrates the Incas' sophisticated understanding of astronomy and their ability to harmonize their built environment with the natural world. This connection with celestial events not only had practical implications but also reinforced their spiritual beliefs and societal structures. Newgrange in Ireland, predating Stonehenge and the pyramids, showcases a remarkable alignment with the winter solstice, revealing the Neolithic builders' intricate knowledge of solar cycles. The winter solstice phenomenon, where sunlight illuminates the inner chamber, underscores the site's role in rituals connected to rebirth and renewal. Göbekli Tepe, even older than Newgrange, challenges conventional timelines with its ancient temple complex and intricate carvings. its advanced architectural techniques and apparent star worship indicate that early human societies were already engaging deeply with astronomical phenomena, possibly laying the groundwork for later civilizations. The idea of a common ancestor or a shared legacy of astronomical and architectural knowledge is intriguing. While direct connections between distant cultures may be elusive, the similarities in celestial alignments and architectural precision across different civilizations suggest a universal human inclination to connect with the cosmos. These ancient structures, from Egypt to Mesoamerica to the British Isles, represent humanity's enduring quest to understand and integrate the heavens into the fabric of their lives and beliefs. This overarching theme of celestial Blombos Cave in South Africa, dating back approximately 100,000 years, is a cornerstone for understanding early human cognitive and cultural development. The artifacts uncovered, such as intricately crafted bone tools and ochre with geometric engravings, indicate that early humans possessed advanced skills and symbolic thinking long before similar developments appeared elsewhere. The ochre engravings and shell beads found here suggest that early humans engaged in complex communication and symbolic expression, reflecting sophisticated cognitive abilities. These findings challenge traditional narratives about the origins of art and abstract thought, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of early human culture. Catalhawk, dating from about 9,500 to 7,700 years ago, presents a unique snapshot of Neolithic urban life. The site's architectural layout, with houses built close together and roofs serving as walkways, highlights an organized and communal way of living. The absence of clear social hierarchies, coupled with the presence of elaborate murals and figurines, provides insights into the social and spiritual life of its inhabitants. The evidence of matrifocal elements and communal living challenges our assumptions about early urban societies and suggests a complex interplay of social, cultural, and religious factors in Neolithic life. Discovered accidentally in 1963, Derinkuyu is an astonishing example of ancient subterranean architecture. The city's elaborate design, with its ventilation shafts, secure stone doors, and multiple levels, reveals an advanced understanding of both engineering and defense mechanisms. The ability to support thousands of people underground, with features reminiscent of modern infrastructure, underscores the ingenuity and practical skills of its creators. The comparison to the labyrinth of Minos highlights the sophisticated planning involved in Derinkuyu's construction and its potential as a refuge during times of threat. Altamira Cave's stunning Upper Paleolithic paintings, dating back around 36,000 years, provide a vivid glimpse into prehistoric art. The intricate depictions of bison and other animals, along with the use of sophisticated pigments and techniques, showcase the artist's. The pyramid texts, dating to around 2400 to 2300 BCE, offer valuable insights into the religious and cultural context of ancient Egypt during the Old Kingdom. These texts, inscribed on the walls of pyramids, reveal the religious beliefs surrounding the pharaohs and their journey to the afterlife. The connection between the architectural marvels of the pyramids and the sophisticated bureaucracy required to manage such massive projects highlights the central role of divine kingship and centralized power in ancient Egyptian society. The scale and complexity of pyramid construction reflect the extensive resources, planning, and organizational skills of the ancient Egyptians. These ancient sites and artifacts reveal a tapestry of human development, showcasing the evolution of cognitive abilities, artistic expression, and social structures over tens of thousands of years. From the early symbolic communication in Blombos Cave to the elaborate urban planning of Catalhawk and the underground marvels of Derinkuyu, each discovery adds a piece to the puzzle of human history. The interconnectedness of these findings underscores a shared human quest for understanding, creativity, and societal organization. Whether through symbolic art, intricate architecture, or sophisticated religious texts, these ancient cultures demonstrate a profound engagement with their environment and each other. The evidence from these sites not only challenges traditional narratives but also enriches our understanding of the complexity and diversity of early human life. Here's where things get interesting. Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids weren't built by slaves but by a paid workforce. These workers were likely skilled laborers, artisans, and even seasonal workers, and they were treated pretty well. We found evidence of medical care, food, and even some form of compensation. So how could they afford all this? The answer lies in a concept called economic surplus. Basically, they had enough resources left over after taking care of basic needs like food and shelter to invest in these grand projects. This surplus came from their mastery of agriculture, thanks to the Nile River's annual floods. These floods enriched the land and allowed them to grow more food than they needed to survive, freeing up people to work on other things, like building pyramids. But the pyramids are more than just piles of stone, they're symbols too. Many believe they represent the rays of the sun, a pathway for the pharaoh's soul to reach the heavens. This symbolism is deeply connected to the pyramid texts, which are filled with references to the sun god Ra. It all goes back to the Egyptians' belief system, where religion, royalty, and the universe were all interconnected. Speaking of connections, the pyramid texts are like the great-grandparents of later Egyptian religious texts. They paved the way for things like the coffin texts and the Book of the Dead. These later texts show how Egyptian beliefs evolved over time, adapting and becoming more accessible to people beyond just the pharaohs. So, we've explored the economic engine behind the pyramids and the deeper meaning they hold, but let's not forget the pyramids themselves. They weren't just giant piles of stone, they were meticulously designed and built with a specific purpose in mind. Imagine these pyramids as giant tombs built to house the bodies and possessions of pharaohs after they passed away. But they weren't just storage units, they were designed to help the pharaoh's soul on its journey to the afterlife. And that's where the pyramid texts come in. These inscriptions were like a guidebook for the pharaoh's soul, offering spells and protection every step of the way. The most famous pyramid containing these texts belongs to Unas, the last ruler of the 5th dynasty. His pyramid, located in Saqqara, was the first to include these inscriptions, paving the way for future pharaohs to follow suit. Think of it like a new trend. Once Unas did it, other pharaohs like Teti, PPI, and even PP2 decided they wanted pyramid texts too. These texts weren't just scribbled on any old piece of papyrus, they were painstakingly carved into the very walls of the pyramids by skilled artisans. Imagine the dedication and precision it took to etch those intricate hieroglyphs into stone. This not only shows the skill of the craftsman but also highlights the importance of the texts themselves. They were considered so sacred and valuable that they deserved a permanent and prominent place within the pyramids. Speaking of sacredness, these texts were like the holy scriptures of their time. They contained spells, prayers, and hymns all designed to ensure the pharaoh's safe passage to the afterlife and even his transformation into a god. The fact that they were placed inside the pyramids, which were themselves seen as sacred spaces, further emphasizes their importance. But here's the interesting part. Initially, these texts were an exclusive club. Only the pharaohs got to enjoy their benefits, further solidifying their divine status in society. It kind of reflects the hierarchical structure of the time, where access to certain religious practices and texts was restricted to the privileged few. However, things eventually changed over time. The concepts and spells found in the pyramid texts started to trickle down to the broader Egyptian population. This led to the development of the coffin texts and later the famous Book of the Dead. These later texts mark a turning point, making spells and rituals for the afterlife more accessible, not just for the pharaohs but for regular people too. So the pyramid texts, originally exclusive to the pharaohs, became the seed for a more democratic approach to the afterlife in ancient Egypt. Now imagine unearthing a piece of history that rewrites what we know about writing. That's exactly what happened in the 1920s when the Kish tablet was discovered in the ancient city of Kish, Mesopotamia. This wasn't just any clay tablet, it was a game-changer, offering a glimpse into the very origins of writing and the fascinating society that developed it. Kish was no ordinary town. Located along the Euphrates River, it was a bustling hub of trade, politics, and culture, attracting people from far and wide. This melting pot of cultures likely played a key role in the birth of writing as different people brought their own symbols and ways of record keeping, eventually leading to the development of protocuneiform script. The discovery of the Kish tablet itself is a story of collaboration. Archaeologists from the Field Museum of Natural History, led by Stephen Langdon, joined forces with other experts to uncover the secrets of Kish. Back then, excavation techniques were evolving, becoming more systematic and meticulous, which was crucial for carefully preserving and documenting this historic find. But what's so special about this tablet? Well, the writing system on it is like a Rosetta Stone of the ancient world. It's one of the earliest examples of written communication, showcasing the transition from picture-based symbols to the complex wedge-shaped script known as cuneiform. This shift reflects the growing complexity of Sumerian society as people needed new ways to keep track of things. The creation and use of the Kish tablet also hint at a well-organized society. Imagine a city-state managing resources, governing its people, and even engaging in trade with other regions. Writing wasn't just about leaving messages, it was essential for recording transactions, laws, and important decisions. But the impact of writing goes beyond practicalities. It opened doors for cultural expression and the preservation of knowledge. With writing, the Sumerians could record their myths, laws, and historical events, ensuring they weren't lost to time. This paved the way for the rich literary traditions that flourished in the ancient Near East. The Kish tablet is a reminder that writing wasn't just a random invention, it was a necessity for keeping complex societies running smoothly. It also opened doors for cultural exchange and the preservation of knowledge across generations. This discovery continues to spark debates among scholars, with some questioning whether writing originated independently in Mesopotamia or was influenced by other cultures. The mystery surrounding the exact function and content of the tablet adds to its allure, making it a captivating piece of history that continues to captivate archaeologists.